konbanwa, konnichiwa, whatever time it is where you are. Anyway, this is the last video I'm going to make about Duolingo. And that is because I've had enough of it, and it's really just because I'm bored of it. Duolingo is very dull compared to a lot of other methods that I've used for learning, whether it even be Anki or YouTube videos, other apps. I really find Duolingo to be the most dull thing I've ever used. And it's not just the Japanese course, because yes, the Japanese course has changed. It's gotten a little better, however, not great. I'm almost at the end of Unit 2, and that's what I've done in just 1 week. I've gone through almost 2 units in 1 week, and I have learned to pretty much say a handful of words. I can order some food, but if it isn't, what they told me here, I have water, green tea, rice, sushi. If it's not one of those four things, I'm just not going to be able to order it. And other than that, they've taught me how to say that somebody is a cool lawyer or a nice doctor. Yeah, that doesn't seem very useful to me. But okay, I kind of understood what they were going at. They were showing some sentence structure. But it's at such a snail's pace that it's just, if you're not enjoying learning a language, you are not going to stick with it. And that's why in the past I've stopped learning a lot of things. Because really, I used to learn almost exclusively with Duolingo, if you believe it or not. With the French course, the German course, not so much Spanish. Spanish I've always kind of hopped around. But it just gets so dull, so repetitive. And I understand you need some repetition to learn, but you can repeat things in ways that are more entertaining. For example, I listen to a lot of Spanish podcasts, Spanish music, and they're interesting. I don't really repeat the podcast, but the music, I have a playlist that I play through it at least 2 or 3 times a week. And while I don't know every word that they say, I'm slowly like, oh, I'm understanding what they're saying. I'm getting that input of listening, which is actually my biggest problem with Spanish. I can write all day in Spanish. I can have a full-blown conversation. I've proven that to myself. Over the past 3 weeks, I've had conversations with people in just about every Spanish country you can imagine. And it's been fine. I had to work out some of what they were saying every now and then, put a word in the translator, maybe fill in a word I didn't know. But because I was doing that, I was picking up on the things that I didn't know. I was filling in the gaps fairly quickly, I have to say. And my trouble now is really just speaking and listening to it. I can read it, I can write it to you, but when you start speaking it to me, I'm just clueless. So I can see how an entertaining method of learning can really build your knowledge quickly compared to Duolingo, where, yeah, that's a nice teacher, that's a cool doctor, okay. I'm never going to say that to anybody. And, I the 3 ways to say nice to meet you, I'm never going to forget that, but I still don't understand why there's 3 ways. They still have yet to tell me. So I'm going to try out some other apps, but I'm not going to do a weekly update. I might throw in, like, every now and then, I might do, let's say, Busu. That's when I have downloaded. I'm going to try that next. I'm going to do that for, like, let's say, over the course of a month. And then after a month of doing it, we're going to see where I am with that. And I'm not going to limit myself with that, because I still think when you limit yourself to one app, it's really a disservice to everything, because there's so much. Like, I learned from 1 week of Chinese YouTube videos, I learned how to have a very specific but complete conversation, more or less. I do realize that after I filmed that, I forgot to say a couple lines I wanted to say, but that's besides the point. It's really just about, like, the slowness of Duolingo, really just like taking the excitement out of it. And after 4 weeks of Duolingo, what little I have to show from it, like, I know I could have done more. There were so many points along the way where I was like, I wish I could just do something else. But I was sticking it out just to make the videos, which, hey, now we know. And, I'm not saying Duolingo is useless, but, everybody has their own preference. For somebody who wants to learn 5 minutes a day, there you go. Use Duolingo. If you're serious about actually learning, it's probably not for you. So this is the last time you'll see me for Duolingo, and I'll check in later on, and we'll see how Busu and YouTube and whatever else I find all mixed together. You know, I've been speaking to other people in other countries in Spanish now for weeks, and I'm thinking like, what about I just do that in Japanese? Of course, what am I going to say? I'm going to call them a dirty vegetable? I don't know that much. So when I do start to pick up on some Japanese, I'm going to add that in as well. So let's see what happens, and I'll catch you in the next video.